Hello everyone, PS2Man here. I just wanted to give a disclaimer before we got started on the review for RWBY Grimm Eclipse. One of the characters in the game is Professor Peter Port, and for those of you who do not know who that is, he is voiced by Ryan Haywood. And as far as Ryan, he was an employee at Rooster Teeth, known for being an achievement hunter. But as of recently, at the time of this video's publishing, it is known that there are serious allegations set against him, and he has been forced to leave Rooster Teeth as a whole. Now, obviously, I did not intend this while reviewing Grimm Eclipse, making sure everything was ready for the review to come up. I just wanted to say quickly in this video that, aside from this disclaimer, I am not talking about the allegations, I'm not talking about the controversy itself. That's not the point of this video. The point of the video is to just review RWBY Grimm Eclipse. So, with that out of the way, I hope anyone understands that I am not bringing it up at all beyond this disclaimer. With that said though, I hope you enjoy this review of RWBY Grimm Eclipse. Yes. I remember 6 years ago.
Can you give me a few minutes? Yourself. Can we go to our footage? Yeah! There's a newly revamped version of RWBY the game playable on the show floor at RTX. We officially adopted it and are funding the progress of this game, which then just means we're now game developers, is that right?
Yeah, so Rooster Teeth is making an announcement. We're hearing it here first. Rooster Teeth is starting video game development.
Season 2, or Volume 2 to go by the show's terms, was just around the corner. And out of the blue, an announcement was made that a game based on the series was in production. If anything, it showed just how successful RWBY was at the start. But to those who don't know the series, the last paragraph was just fluff, so let's give some context. RWBY is an online animated series on Rooster Teeth, created by the late Monty Oum. The series is known for its unique take on action, and quickly became one of Rooster Teeth's most popular shows alongside Red vs. Blue, even being dubbed overseas in Japan. Regardless of what you think of the series today, no one can deny it still holds a place in many fans' hearts. The series itself is one thing, the game is another. Released in 2016, the game was met with mixed results. But as someone who played the heck out of this game back then, I figured now would be a great time to take a look back. Now, I'm going to try and be as unbiased with this as possible because my inner RWBY fan wants to adore this game and basically everything the series is attached with. Almost. One thing to keep in mind is that this is Rooster Teeth's first official game as a publisher. Later on, they would publish games like Super Rad Ray Gun and Bendy and the Ink Machine, but Grimm Eclipse would be the first game the company made by themselves. Afterwards would come board games, but one step at a time. Grab your controllers and prepare your landing strategies.
So, what exactly is a landing strategy?
The one thing to hit you automatically is the presentation and how okay it is. Some elements like the enemy designs and level aesthetics look great, while others could have used a little work. Granted, in motion the characters look fine, but still in close-up could look off depending on who you choose. And of course, the one thing I can't show off because of that lovely copyright claim, the music. Some of the music is ripped straight out of the show's first two volumes, such as Black and White, Caffeine, and Best Day Ever. while others are original compositions by the show's composers. Sadly, none of the songs are vocal, even if the instrumentals are from the vocal songs, but that's a small nitpick. Of course, it wouldn't be a RWBY game without the RWBY cast, and all of them are present to reprise their roles, whether it's the main team of 4, the side team of 4, or the cameo voices, all return and do a great job. That even includes the new character of the game, the main villain, Dr. Merlot, voiced by Dave Fennoy. He's my favorite character in the game and serves the antagonist role well, but to touch on that would require getting into the story, and, well, it's here. Now, if only we had a good line to start off our story.
As you know.
Nope! Set between Volume 2 and 3, Team RWBY is sent to investigate security stations, discovering traces of the long-thought-gone Merlot Industries, who provide research and developmental technology for Remnant. The industry was destroyed in a devastation, but not too long after, they discover a remote island where it's revealed Merlot is very much alive and continuing his research. The man believes Grimm are the superior species and wants to capture them for his own personal gain. Not wanting any of that, the team foils his plan and seizes the day. As I'm sure that description hints at, it's a simple story that gives more flavor text to the world RWBY takes place in, namely the downfall of the mysterious Mountain Glen. Aside from that, the only real interesting part is Merlot himself and his obsession with the Grimm. Otherwise, it's small banter between the team and exposition for the side characters. Although the former, for better or worse.
Well, that's an issue. It appears the bridge is blocked. According to my map, you should be able to take a detour through the city's old waterway system.
Well, what are we waiting for? Get it? Guys?
God damn it, Barb!
Since it's mostly flavor text for the world, there isn't a point to play it for the story. A quick wiki search can do you just fine. But we do have an actual game to play, so the question stands. Do you like beat-em-ups with RPG elements? The story is split into 10 chapters, each one from 15 minutes to 30 minutes depending on your skills. As a member of the team, you travel the level fighting enemy encounters and the occasional enemy waves to reach the end of the stage. Don't be surprised though if the enemies are the only interesting things, because the level design is pretty average. Think of it like a 3D arcade beat-em-up, going from one section to another with some platforming in between, though not enough in Grimm Eclipse's case. While there are inclines, wipe them away, and you have fair levels with some pathways for minimal exploration. But you're not here for platforming. You're here to use your scythe that also works as a customizable high-impact sniper rifle.
What? It's also a gun. Oh.
You have a light attack to chain combos, a heavy attack which you can charge up or press at the end of a combo for a hard finisher, and projectile moves for long distance attacks. Except for Jean. Jean can shield bash. You also have a counter that stuns an enemy when the button is above their heads, and yes, this is exploitable, trust me. As for special attacks, there are 2. When the prompt is above their heads, you can activate a team attack, for a hard-hitting move anyone can join you in executing. Finally, you have your ultimate. When the blue bar is full, press the shoulder buttons and BAM! Special move. That's it. Combat is pretty basic, just advanced enough to keep your interest through the many battles you'll face. The many battles. Now it does feel weird to complain that all you do is fight. This is a beat-em-up after all. However, there are 2 major problems that put the combat into the repetitive category. First are the enemies themselves, and how few types there are. For the many types of Grimm and Remnant, only 4 of them are used except for the mini-boss and the final boss fight. Even then, those types have revamped versions, whether in an alpha mode or mutated. For 6 chapters, it's the same enemies over and over again. That is, until chapter 7, and the arrival of the androids. All 2 types of them. Overall, there's only 10 types of enemies total with 2 unique boss monsters, and trust me, you'll be sick of them even on the first playthrough. It's also disappointing how those are the only enemies in the game. The White Fang are nowhere to be seen, other types of Grimm could have made an appearance but don't, and those villains you've come to know, not even mentioned. Gone completely from this game. No Torchwick, no Neo, heck, I would have taken Cinder as a boss, but no, nowhere to be seen. this is a pure fan inside of me saying this, but I feel disappointed the game feels so limited with its source material. I understand there's a story that needs to be told, but you could have taken the opportunity for more bosses at the end of chapters for something cool. But no. Just a mini-boss or a revamped enemy and the final boss, which is okay, but nothing mind-blowing aside from the choice of music. And I thought Bantana would have some... There is a point to all these battles. See, as you start the character's journey, you have a low amount of health, and your moves could use some refining. That's where the experience comes in. Each character can level up 10 times total. Each level up is a point to be used on your ability page. These bonuses range from enhanced moves to increased stats, which can really help you in battle. Some are locked behind challenges, which, when unlocked, gives you the chance to choose that perk. The upgrades, I have to admit, are a strong point to the game. You can build your character how you want, and it adds the replayability a smidge since you can refund the points and choose different perks. For the time being. But this next point. Oh, this next point. In the game, you have a rank option, where you can complete several quests that the game gives you. Complete them all, and you get a rank badge. At the cost of relocking your challenges, leveling down your characters, basically starting from scratch. All your hard work, gone. Just for a rank that gives you nothing but bragging rights. There is a trophy for reaching rank 10, but again, bragging rights. And these challenges are time consuming, from beating certain enemies to maxing out several characters, all to keep you coming back with your friends to play it over and over again. Speaking of, the game makes the careless flaw of locking trophies and challenges behind multiplayer. You could get 3 more friends to join you, but that's like asking anyone to play Mario Party 9 with you. No one wants to. So you're left with your lonesome playing the game 4 times just for the first rank, and you probably see the problem from there. If a good reward was behind the ranks, it wouldn't be a huge problem, but bragging rights will keep players' interest for long. And that's where the 2 side modes come in. Horde mode, which sees you defending sentries from Grimm, and Grimm Gauntlet. Well, it's an endless form of Grimm. Each mode is played on 5 separate maps, and has an extra currency which you can use to build turrets for assistance. But you're just fighting the same enemies over and over again. This could be a distraction if you really needed it. Heck, some trophies are locked behind this mode for you completionists, but it won't keep you for long. Hey, wait a minute. This is the first game I reviewed that actually has DLC. Well, time to pull out this bad boy again. DLC, I feel, is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it can add great content to keep the player base coming back. On the other hand, it's a cheap way to spend money on things that should be unlockables in the game, and can easily be abused if in the wrong hands. Grimm Eclipse has 2 forms of DLC. The first being 4 new playable characters. Team Juniper, consisting of Jean, Nora, Ren, and best character of the first 3 volumes. Each come with their own abilities and moves, so arguably they add more playtime should you be tired of the main 4 for whatever reason. Or play dress up. The second form comes in costume packs, $2 for 4 costumes. In a smart move, costume sets are broken into teams, so if you didn't buy Team Juniper, the money isn't wasted on extra costumes. But that begs the question, why weren't these unlockables in the game? Like, each costume had a challenge locked behind it? You know, to make them feel rewarding? I mean, they're nice outfits that harken back to RWBY's past, but just being DLC feels shallow, even though I bought them for the sake of the review. The main game plus the DLC together charges you $39, but only if you really wanted the extra costumes. Also, a bit of a side note, but jerk move, Rooster Teeth! Jerk move! Perhaps I'd go a bit easier on it if there was more to the game. And there was supposed to. And then there wasn't. In 2018, there was a promise of new game modes, master multiplayer, as well as a new campaign. Sounds great, but after the mediocre success of the game vicious cycle, Rooster Teeth Games announced in 2019 there would be no more new content for any of their games, which includes Grimm Eclipse. It hurts to know there was more content on the way, but it never came to be. Perhaps though, it was for the best. I'm sure by then, it would have been called the anthem of Rooster Teeth Games. Actually, that might not be that far off. RWBY Grimm Eclipse was a good first attempt at bringing the world of RWBY to gaming, but not one that would last as long as it hoped. With an okay story, repetitive gameplay, and a lack of any worthwhile rewards, unless you're really dedicated, it isn't worth your time, despite a good presentation and fun level system. I want to love this game, and for a while I did, but take the pure fan glasses off, and you'll see a game that's just okay. Nothing stellar. If you had some friends, it might be better, but that's a $20 experiment. Perhaps there's one fairy tale that isn't worth revisiting, with no happy ending in sight. Please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. That being said, it wasn't the end of RWBY's. That being said, it wasn't the end of RWBY's gaming opportunities. It's had several crossovers, a couple mobile games, and it was included as a mainstay attraction for BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. And it's getting a new game next year, being worked on by WayForward and Arc Systems. I'm excited to see where it goes, and hope for all the best. I'm the PS2Man, and let's take our luck.
Treats will be yours.
Yes! I always knew this day would come. I'll see you later. Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching this review of RWBY Grimm Eclipse. I do apologize that this video took much longer to come out than anticipated, but nonetheless, if you were looking forward to it, I do hope you enjoyed the final product. With that being said, if you want to follow me on Twitter or check out my weekday streams, everything is on the screen. I hope you look forward to what comes in the future, and until then, please stay safe, and I'll see you later. Take care.